I think we just lost.
And those persons who know
Okay.
who they want to sell and what they want to sell, they will continue to sell it, but they would not sell me in a negative light. I will continue to be me. I will continue to work and serve the people of Tobago, as much Trinidad and Tobago by extension, and I will do
Yes.
it to the best of my ability without any fear or malice or ill will or intent.
Wow. That's deep. Accept my sympathy in that area for all the
No
people who
problem at
believe that
all.
they could live and respect the thickness of their skin, because their skin is very thin. Their skin is very thin. If you say the slightest thing about them, everybody want to bring a lawsuit. Everybody want to
Mm-hmm.
make a live video. But I don't have to do that. If somebody disrespect anybody in my life, I am going to put that person straight. I am going to tell that person, no, you are not allowed to speak this way on my life, and you need to get off. That is the kind of life I am keeping. It's due respect and honor. I was a girl guide. And it's be prepared is the motto. Do your best is the same. You have to be able to respect people. And as the Bible says, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. This is not a political show tonight. We here trying to bring the issues out. And I don't want to hear anybody blaming Tobagonians and blaming Trinidad and say that they don't want. Who doesn't want? Everybody wants something. And if they're doing for you, and you should do for them, is there no quid pro quo in that way? But then you were voted into power to be a blessing to people. You're not doing it to people, you're doing it to some persons. And that's not what God wants. And that is not what we vote for in a democracy. Anselm, are you there? Hello,
Yeah, Mama
Anselm.
Coco. Yes, I'm
Yes.
here. I'm
Sorry for putting your cousin Nicola Hines in her place. She does that all the time.
who it is?
Oh,
Nicola Hines from Zion Hill.
Well,
and I heard that name before.
if they are being disrespectful, they need to be placed in their place.
Yes,
You
this
know,
is not a joke. Look what
don't
you
do
here
that.
doing. Look the kind of contribution you making, and you living in Tobago. You could be jeopardized. People could hate you, but you here speaking positive. If the ruling party fall on the negative side of your conversation, well, they have to buck up, because that's what we vote them for. We vote them for transparency.
Well, you see, the island is facing all these challenges and all these problems. And we are the ones to be blamed, to be going in. Our people doesn't perish because of bad leaders,
No,
and so our people perish because they don't have no vision and
they don't have
no
no vision
understanding
and no knowledge.
and no knowledge. And exactly, that's the
Exactly.
problem. So the
Mm-hmm.
island is what it is because the people take anything. But if they have the vision and the knowledge and understanding, then they can probe and challenge their leaders and force them to perform better. But we have a
Of
kind of
course.
attitude where that the Begonians demonstrate an attitude that they are contented with absolutely nothing.
We
They are
have bad air
contented.
bridge, Anselm, bad air bridge, bad sea bridge. But people laughing and making it a joke?
Well, no, but Mama Coco, we have a situation here where our island government, in its financial statement, said that it had $250 million in a bank account. And when the Auditor General asked them for the banking information, they could not provide the banking information. When the world you hear that happening?
Where in the world you hear that happening?
They, in their financial statement, stated that they had $200 in a bank account. And when the Auditor General asked for the documentation as to where this bank is, what is the banking account, they could not provide the information. And to be going and said absolutely nothing. Then mad,
Nothing.
then beat up at the street. The only person who making noise like Job preaching for 40 years is me. And nobody they say nothing that good. I don't know if they don't understand money. I don't know if to be going and don't understand what $250 million means and what it could. But hey, look, we are what we are, and our island is what it is because we allow it to be what it is. And
Amen.
I have committed that once I have breath in my body, I am going to use the talent and the ability that God blessed me with to shine a light where there is darkness in the administration of
Amen.
this earth. And nobody, no politician, no individual, no way in the world is going to deny me that right to highlight the wrongs and the ills of this island. I am not about politics. And let me say this to those who are listening. If I wanted power, there was nobody in Tobago to prevent me from being the next chief secretary after Over London. I was
Hey,
prepared for that Over London.
because you walk with the man and you know exactly.
Oh, I was prepared. I was prepared. As a matter of fact, Mama Coco, let me say this tonight. The national award, when it was changed from the Trinity Cross to the Order of Trinidad and Tobago, I gave that name. I was on the committee.
Hey,
I gave that name. I was on the committee that changed the name of the highest award of this country from the Trinity Cross to the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I gave it the name. The idea was not my original idea. When I was appointed to the committee, being a researcher, I checked for Tobagonians who had done and worked in that area before and had conversation with them. And one such person was Mr. Reginald Dumas, the former head of the public service. And when he gave me his file and I did the background research, that was a recommendation he was making for years. I renewed the recommendation and it was accepted. So, and I'm saying this tonight, I was prepared for leadership of this island. But I am prepared to be a doorkeeper or a cleaner in the house of truth, honesty, and progress. Than to be a
hey,
prince, than to be a prince or a king in a house of deception, deceit, and corruption.
doctrine, boy, doctrine.
Amen.
Amen.
I
So
leave
Ali,
I,
so
I
Ali
leave
G,
you.
Ali G is saying 250 million gone missing and not a ram goat in jail. Exactly. She said that is madness. Total madness.
Mama Coco, they wrote it in their financial statement, in their report. Their financial report said that they had $250 million in a bank account from unspent balances. And when the Auditor General officer showed me the banking account and showed me they could not provide the details. But if you write it, if you prepare the financial statement, then you must know which bank the money in because you say you said you have it there.
You say you have it.
And let me tell you something. Any Tobagonian who have a financial manager managing their money, and they told them that they had $250,000. I didn't go into millions.
Okay.
$250,000 in a bank account, and they asked them to show them the account, and they couldn't show them. They would have fired that person.
Of course,
They
with
would have
immediate effect.
immediate effect ASAP. So where the money is now? So where is
But no,
Faros
no,
Alwari?
it's our tax money.
Alwari.
It's our tax money, and Tobagonians don't see the urgency in calling the administration to account, to hold them to account. You understand? So all these things are happening. All these things are happening on the island. And we have a situation now. You know how many computers that could have provided for the students who don't have
I am
computers today?
telling you.
You know how many internet connections that could have been paid for schools and for homes who need that now? We don't know what the money is, Me saying that nobody take it. But the fact of it, I can't say that I don't have that evidence. But what I
In
do know
Trinidad,
is that
as soon as this guy win, he sent away Beckles. What, he sent you away to hide money or sent you away with something? We don't know. Or the London's waste Tobago money and infrastructure mash up the whole place for 16 years. As he win election, he sent away Orville London. Tracy secretarial post, missing millions of dollars in tourism. He sent away Tracy, but then brings she back. What is going on? Why Tobagonians and Trinidadians taking this? Good God. All they want me to talk. So they go look to send all the Obia behind me. Enough Obia mash up Tobago. Enough
I
Obia
can't
put, hold on, in
Mhm.
Tobago. The Obia put even Watson Duke to say vote PNM. Imagine that. They turn him into a sheep. They turn him into a ram goat. But let me tell everybody, if Watson and them did listen to Mama Coco, Tatai would a tie rope. Tatai would a tie rope.
Hey. Hey.
Say it. I was saying that you ain't sure about where they go away for. Well, tell us why Tracy went away.
No.
To do
What I'm
what?
saying is that I don't know what happened in Trinidad. I can't speak for Trinidad, but what I do know, I could speak for the things that are happening in Tobago, and the fact that we need to ensure
Somebody
that
playing a video.
that
I hearing what I say.
that we need to ensure that our leaders and our politicians are held accountable for the resources that are allotted to take care of the people of the island. I don't
Do
think
you
we have had.
think, Anselm Love, do you think an investigation should be held before the 100 days, before the next election, about the missing monies in Tobago? Do you think we should get justice before the next election? Oh God.
Well, there have been some calls in Tobago to say no autonomy before accountability. Those are some slogans that have taken place after. Let me tell you something. Over the last 20 years, this administration has not received a favorable report from the Auditor General in terms of its ability to account for the money it received. None.
None.
As a matter of fact, in 1 year, the Auditor General refused to give an opinion. First, that it was so the financial statement and accounting was so bad that the Auditor General threw his or her hand in the air and said, "We can't give no opinion on this. This is beyond our ability to offer up an opinion, an accounting opinion." So
My God.
we have significant problems as it relates to this administration ability to account favorably and properly for the resources it receives. That is not my saying. That is from the report of the Auditor General. And anybody who is listening and want to do proper investigation can go and get copies of the Auditor General report on the auditing of the THA from 2001 to 2018 or 2019, and they will see what I'm speaking to. So that's not my information. I am speaking about the official report from the Auditor General.
God. We
So
don't
they have
learn anything from the
proper
politicians.
report. So, but the sad thing is that Tobagonians do not understand their role in the governance of the island.
That's right.
They feel that when they vote 12 persons into the House of Assembly, their role is over and they sit down and they ask for handout. But they don't understand that real governance involves the people monitoring and holding their government to account. That's the only way you're going to have efficiency, effectiveness, and accountability. When the people come to that place where they recognize and accept their role and function in the governance structure, that they have to hold their government accountable.
Accountable.
Let me say this. When we talk about one voice in Tobago, and it's something I've been discussing with Mr. Charles, one voice doesn't mean that one person speaking for Tobago. One voice means that we
All
agree,
Tobagonians,
but
yes.
we agree as Tobagonians to a body of principles and policy and laws, and call them what you want, as to how we are going to govern this island. So all of us speak to those issues with one common
voice.
understanding. That is
Yes.
how we're going to run this island. That is what one voice means. One voice doesn't mean we should have one political party and her child should be the voice talking for you. Nonsense. One voice means that the people of Tobago, in unison, in a social contract, in a cohesive contract, agree to these common principles as to how we are going to administrate, run, live, and work on this island. And where there is faction or some kind of violation of those principles, we all come and we condemn it, and we treat the violators in a particular way, because we all have agreed from the inception that this is the way we are going to live, work, and play in Tobago.
Amen.
That's what one voice means.
Well, we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people writing up, and we have another question for you. And I want to give it to you before this system breakdown again. Anselm and Nickocy, The Tobago House of Assembly THA elections are expected to be held in January 2021. Exact date to be announced. No, the exact date is to be announced. We ain't get no date yet. And you know what Keith Rowley does. He just wait when and drop the election when people not prepared for it. So what are the big outstanding issues for Tobago in that election? I ain't seen Nickocy.
Well,
In
the big, the
2020,
big,
in 21
the,
days.
the big outstanding issue for Tobago and for Tobagonian needs to take 1 second, 1 minute,
Are we
1 hour.
Are we hearing you good, or you could raise your voice a little?
I'm saying that Tobagonians
Yes.
need to take a minute, 1 minute, to do a fair and unbiased and
Assessment.
objective evaluation assessment as to how the island have progressed over the last 20 years. And whether we have benefited from the over $40 billion that was received in revenue over the last 20 years by the current administration. And that's an objective. I'm not going to say whether they're going to come down on yes, no, but I'm saying that informed Tobagonian voters need to take a minute and look at the progress of the island over the last 20 years to ascertain whether we have, and the amount of money we received and expended over the last 20 years, whether we receive value for the money we receive, whether we have experienced the level of growth and development, whether we have experienced the growth in our prosperity and our wealth. And then when you arrive at those conclusions, then you can make an informed decision as to how you're going to participate in the upcoming THA election. What is going to be the nature of your participation and the level of your participation. That's how a progressive voter, that's how a progressive people treat the situation. You understand? This is sometimes what is happening in the Tobago space is that a lot of Tobagonians allow their membership and their loyalty to a political organization and to other organizations, turn them into slaves or enslave them to that entity. But sometimes you see, when you enslave yourself, then you really become a slave because there's no progress, there's no prosperity for you. You just work and you're not seeing your way. You can't pay your bills. You can't, and your children and then move from a cycle of poverty from generation to generation. I know families in Tobago working 2, 3 generations and then working in CPF and URP.
Yes.
That's not a
And
job.
the house
Two,
not
two,
finished
three
yet.
generations. And the house unfinished and the children can't, so we have to want Tobago to be a better place for all of us, for our children, for our grandchildren, and our grandchildren's children. And that
Yes.
requires us to take certain decisive action as to how we are going to administrate, manage the resources of this island, ensure that no child, no family, no community is left behind. We update and modernize the infrastructure, our institutions, more so our public institution in terms of health, education, agriculture, business administration, social service delivery, our physical infrastructure, and prepare the island to participate in a more global, in a global community where we are going to engage in a fourth industrial relation revolution, that is now going to be defined and has been defined by artificial intelligence, robotics. So if we don't understand what the world is, we will not be a very effective competitor in the world. And therefore, our leaders have to understand where the world is going, and therefore prepare our population and our physical and institutional infrastructure so that will give us the opportunity to participate in the global activity in a very effective and efficient way. And those are the assessments we have to make.
Yes.
And the next CHA election is going to determine Tobago's future. The vote in the next CHA election is not just a vote for PNM or PDP or one voice. The vote in the 2021 election is a vote that's going to determine the future and the lives of Tobagonians for the next 100 years.
Amen. Wow. C.J. Lewis Beard, you're saying gentleman and stuff, but this is Anselm Richards, Yvonne Richards, your schoolmate brother. Yes. Anselm, you know Cedra? She's from
Yeah,
Charlottesville.
yeah, I know CJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. So Nickocy, the same question here for you. The Tobago House of
Um,
Assembly THA elections are expected to be held in January 2021. Exact date to be announced. What are the big outstanding issues for Tobago in that election?
well, I think Anselm Richards said everything that he's supposed to say because that is it. The people of Tobago need to be informed as to what their roles and function is really or are really are incoming in this THA and what they're voting for. If they're going to continue voting for a relaxed society that continues to take the nonsense that's going on, or are we to vote for a society are we going to vote for a system that is going to allow a difference in the different types of management in the THA for persons like myself, let's say Ansel Richards or different voices to form that organization or that Tobago House of Assembly that will take Tobago forward? As you said, one voice, but the voice must have different leaders and different persons with the same enthusiastic behavior to take Tobago forward, and this is what is needed. In this upcoming election, what I can say is that we have a lot to do,
Yes.
and going forward, we have to be informed. We also have a lot. We have also there must be accountability on missing and or alleged missing, I should say the word alleged missing and unspent project or unbalanced projects. We need to get the information before we go forward. And we need to also hire an international, somebody said it, an international
Yes. I said it.
body that or somebody outside of the governance of Trinidad and Tobago that will audit the books of Tobago properly and let us have a fair accountability and transparency of what is it that was spent and what is going to be spent. Because all I'm seeing in this country in Tobago is we're focusing on big buildings and big stuff and not enhancing the development of Tobagonians and the youth
Yes.
of Tobago. So without further ado, all I will say is that the people of Tobago, as I've always said, needs to wake up. If they don't smell the coffee now, they will have to go and buy coffee. And the coffee wouldn't even want them, so they better start waking up. That's
They
as much
better
as I
start
can say.
waking up.
Yeah, let's wake up. That's all we need to do, wake up.
Because from an intelligent point of view, our people are really not educated when it comes to politics, politicians, and what is required of them and what we should demand. You understand me? I really don't know. Like a lot of us didn't do like principles of business or principles of account. You understand me? We just there. We are in a budget. We even know the figures. They may $1 billion. They even know what a billion means.
Mhm.
Look at Nicola and as an example. Look at her behavior. She doesn't know anything about Tobago, but she wants to song, come on, my life, to sound profound without any intelligence about how Tobago people really suffering and why we believe that Tobagonians deserve better. I don't like that. That's hypocrisy.
No, okay, she's right. You know, let me tell her why she's right. She's right that Tobago don't deserve better because the people who we put to run the affairs of Tobago and to speak for Tobago is not giving and working for the people of Tobago to get what it deserves better. She's also right because the people of Tobago know that they can get better with the type of representation and they neglect to put the persons who can represent their interests at heart.
She
Right?
not,
So,
don't use
no,
Nicola name. No, not don't use Nicola name with the word right in it. Nicola is
no, no,
wrong.
no.
You see,
Yeah, no,
no,
but I'm reversing. No, no, no. I'm not saying that she's right. I'm not saying that she's right. If you get what I'm getting, the level of where I'm coming
no, well,
from.
you see now, let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
You see the intelligence of most people in Tobago,
Yeah,
when them hear the word right, them believe you're right. You see,
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
when we speak with it with sarcasm, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
People doesn't get it because people don't reach that
Okay.
level there yet.
Yeah.
So don't
Okay.
use
Yeah,
right and
maybe.
Nicole. Nicole is wrong.
Yeah. Okay. She wrong. Yeah.
She
But
wrong.
I know once you catch where I'm coming from, I'm good to go.
I catch, but
Yeah.
remember we have an audience.
Yes, I forget. Yes, I forget that too.
And when the
That's true.
people home get brainwashed into slavery mentality and very colonialistic mind and brainwashing, they don't know the meaning of right from wrong. Because you see, even the scripture have a call evil good and good. No, evil is evil. I may
Good is good.
survive the evil, but what happened
Mm-hmm.
to my mentality after I survive? Some people get
Mm-hmm.
damaged from evil, you know. Even if you see they're getting along, physically, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
they're gone.
Yeah.
Don't put Nicola name with nothing right. You and me, we doing it right. Nicola
Okay.
wrong.
Yes.
Like
Good. She's
Donald
wrong.
Trump, she's wrong.
Okay. Nice. Gotta get that now.
Yes, I get it now. Don't put them in no right. See, people don't
Yeah.
understand. You see,
Okay. Mm,
Nicola is a political traumatizer. You understand me? And she been used. I don't like she be here because I know she's a branded PNM. And she knows what we're saying here is against the principles of PNM in Trinidad and Tobago. So don't come here and write it out drawers, Nicola. Put your panty on. Put your drawers on. Come on, Mama Coco will take it from the bottom up. And I ain't making joke. Put your drawers on. I know you're heavy and your panty very big. Put your big girl drawers on and come. Don't put on PNM panty. Come on your own. I don't like this. Look the kind of life that Anselm here with. Look the kind of life that you here with. Why you come and drag your nastiness here today? CJ Lewis Beacher the life from beginning to now. Her son is here.
yeah. Word choice is critical. That's true.
Yes, word choice is critical. We can't use it. But
Of course.
some people just have basic understanding, you know. And some people very ordinary. But the God that we serve in, Nickocy, is an
Yeah.
extraordinary God. He
Of
likes us to
course.
rise above the fray. We aren't supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be praying without knowing what we're praying for.
Praying
And we
for.
got to pray
Yeah.
now with something else too, with reverence and with grace. You see this black and white mentality that some
Yeah.
people want to talk? I don't want it. You see how thin PNM skin is? One Oreo, one word Oreo could make you change a whole population mentality in your pity party. She called me black. Brother, you're black. And if she call you blank, that means mentally, I see you blank also. You're blank to the knowledge of facts, transparency, honesty, yeah, equal rights and justice. Yes. And as a feminist, you know where there. You're a nepotism human being. You like to degrade women and put women in categories that you believe you have an extra one on them. And right now, the blank is because he has no manifesto. But no, we ain't gonna say that. We feel she call him black and she racist. No, you should call you a white man. Or you should call you Chinese, well then she racist. But she call you black, you're black. What's wrong with that? That's my take. Tonight, Nickocy, what specific gender issues were evident during your walkabout in the last general election?
And neglecting men issues and men protection. A lot of the men that I met on the walkabout, they were talking about women only having rights to protect women, but what about the men who have to stay with 3 and 4 kids? They can't get nothing done. They can't get no assistance in terms of they will get assistance to the kids, but like if them go to work, they're cutting the assistance. So a lot of issues
Mm,
that were
mm.
not supposed to be dealt with is gender in regards to men. And as I said, we have to equal it
Say that
across the board.
again. Say
Gender,
that again.
mhm,
The man is the
which part?
breadwinner. He has
Of
to take
course,
care of the children.
right. And
And
if
if
he
he
goes
getting
to work,
benefit,
they will remove the food card from him because he just goes to work for one day. As I said, with the family that I had, the family that I had, I had the family that I had. That father, he had 2 disabled kids.
mm,
Um, and then he getting social assistance, but he went to just do one little PJ, and they took away the card from him because somebody saw him and went and complained he's working. So because they saw him working one PJ, they took away the card from him. And you see this here is all the files that I have on people who would have come for help and assistance, whose cards were taken away, and it's mostly men because they went to do a PJ. Nobody to watch a kid, so they just want to do something. These are persons, single fathers who try to get a job while somebody to look at the kids. This is I have files here with single fathers who don't have no form of assistance, nothing whatsoever, who had to be going to court for child maintenance, and they never see the
Wow.
child as yet. So we on this road, I was always saying that gender equality is not about women alone. It's about men and women. It's about a definition of gender and what other types of gender persons we have in society that has been neglected by our governance and opposition and on all parts because we are afraid to speak on the real issues in regards to gender definition and how we're supposed to define the types of gender and how that definition fits into a society like this. Right? So it's same thing. Don't like to mind their business. They will
But
not focus on the issues at hand.
let me
Uh-huh.
ask you, was neighbors who reported them or INS? Because people have to be careful, you know. If you're getting these stuff
Uh,
and you go on a job, well, was it a PJ
mhm.
or a job where INS would know? Not INS, National
No,
Insurance.
it was a PJ. He said it was somebody considered as well. It's a PJ, and then the person saw him and they went and complained. So I can't go into his file properly because I don't want to identify that person directly. So
Yes,
I put it like that, but it's exactly that. But I don't want to go too much into it because I'm still
yes.
trying to assist that person right now and things. So this is it here. I have all the files. Every single file I have here is files with persons, it's not empty jackets. There are names to the files. All the files have name, they have issues, all the person's issues in it. Everything is here. So we have a lot of issues that needs to be addressed and is not being addressed, and that needs to start happening.
Wow. So Nicola, I say Nicola, see like she just sent me
Oh
a
God.
message. She just sent me a voice message. I hope she respectful and respect me. Now she came on my show and she tried to disrespect my abilities and my integrity. I do not like it. Don't push me into politics when I'm not there. And any political issue about Tobagonian people and Trinidadians, let us answer it on the basis of we only could get what was given to us. We can't steal. And what they
Mhm.
give to us is what we get. Don't say we don't want anything. And
So I
this
think
was and my life tonight, I wasn't serving up Kool-Aid politics. We were here with strict business of the people, for the people, especially younger people who came out and supported Watson Duke's party because they want change. But it's the older heads that stayed at home that we have to get to work on. That the people of Tobago, no, no, I ain't committed yet to do anything. Because one thing politicians have to learn, people have to learn to listen. If you don't listen as a politician, you're gonna fail at all costs. And sometimes politicians have to slow down and listen to the voice of the people. Like how you could say that you could bring up a point where nobody else speaking about fathers who out there and need help as much and doesn't get it because people don't look into men as being a parent. Man's supposed to provide. Well, if he has to provide and he has children that the wife not around or she walk away or she gone America or and he has to take care of his children. What was put in place? So that you're giving him a little money as if
mhm.
that could keep he and the two children. We are sick.
No, no, it's not because when I do the maths, if okay, that why I said to you, I want to put programs in place for special needs kids. If this is a special needs kids, his medication also is, instead of getting the medication, he have to buy his certain types of his medication. His eating patterns as a special need kid is different. So $1,000 cannot do anything. You wouldn't say get a jersey for $1,000. Let me tell you here.
Let me tell
So
you,
when I was very displeased. I was very displeased. And when you call them to find out why, if you hear this stupid, oh Lord have mercy. Let me.
stop. You know, that's happening to in Tobago when it comes to like somebody supposed to get their pension. They're sending people to come in your house to watch your fridge. If you have a stainless steel fridge, and you have a stainless steel stove, you ain't getting no pension, you know.
Yeah, and that is ridiculous.
If your daughter
These
is a
persons
doctor
work for it.
or your daughter is a nurse, then realizing that your daughter and your son, they have a life to live for themselves and their family, they're judging you on that. I don't understand what is happening in this world.
Yeah, all those policies need to change, and that's what I'm saying. These are things that THA is supposed to sit and discuss and putting it in. Not only THA, people in administration. Let me tell you something. The administrations have failed us a lot, because people are taking this thing too personal, and people are taking this thing like if it's their own. Like if I am in THA, everything here is mine. The money is mine. So if I tell you you can't get this, you can't get that. That crap has to stop. People sitting on in office and cannot like if the money is there, this is taxpayer. We paying you to serve as public servant. We paying you. So
Can
if
you,
I am in need, I am a citizen of this country. Because I ask the question, I say, okay, I just entered the realm of politics and whatever. Am I entitled? Because my office is closed, I can't get no work or nothing. Let me just say that. Am I entitled for any grants or any opportunity? Well, if you're really in need, you can apply for it. But you have plenty of money, you don't need to apply.
how they
I
know you
said,
have
what?
money? How they know you have
That,
money? Let me hear Anselm
no, no.
views.
Here
Let
the
me hear Ansel.
response. Here the
Let me hear.
response.
Okay.
The response was, well, look at your hair, look how you just dress, and you always riding big ride. That was their response. But I'll leave it there.
Let me hear Anselm. Let me hear Anselm issue on this.
Yeah, Mama Coco, the issue here is that this this whole thing with social support and thing from the government, it is too subjective. It is not based on any clear set of.
Anselm, you could speak up a little bit more there. Give it
I'm
some
saying,
volume.
yeah, I'm saying that this whole thing in Trinidad and Tobago about social support, public assistance and social support from the government is too subjective. It is not based on any set of established criteria. And that's why you have
Mhm.
what I will call street level bureaucrats, those persons in office making all kind of decisions. Now, let me tell you what's happening in social support in Canada. And I've been saying it in Tobago here for a number of years. What we need for this thing to work, every single Tobagonian of the working age needs to be on the tax infrastructure. Every single Tobagonian of the working age need to be on the tax infrastructure. If you are in university and you're not working, that will be your classification. Because let me tell you something. To get social support, the means test, you only hear they talking about means test. It has to do with your earnings, your income. And if you're not on the tax infrastructure, the government cannot, and that's why we have all the problem with gate and all these programming, because there is no available data for the government to do an objective mean test. In Canada, that is how the system works. Everybody is on the tax infrastructure. So when they look at your income and so forth, they say, well, okay, Mama Coco income is so and so, she need to get a food support and a transport allowance, transport support. Every month, they send that to you in your account. The government sends that to you when they do the calculation based on your income, which is on your tax
Tax,
infrastructure.
yes.
So they don't have to come to you one thing when they look at your earning. Because remember now, if you falsify your tax return, you could make jail. But
Yes.
we have a number of businesses and individuals in this country, no way on the tax infrastructure. You don't know what is happening. The doubles man and they're making millions of dollars per month and per year and all kind of things. So the place is in tata. So the government just in black. They have no data to make no informed decision. So you have a set of people in offices, they're making decisions, they don't have information. Let me give you an example with me. I had the opportunity to adopt a child. The child was given yeah, he passed away unfortunately. The child was in public
sorry.
assistance. So the child come living by me now. Take the child to the court. Child come living by me. The child grandmother told me that the public assistance was coming to an end. So the grandmother was collecting the public assistance, not me. I told she keep the money and so forth because I could take care of the child. When the public assistance came to an end, I went to renew the thing because the child is in my legal custody. You know, the people, when I got money, the people and they want to know how much money I working for, how much money my wife working for, how much fridge I have home. I said, but what is all of this? I said, this child was assessed before and he was getting public assistance. I saw the child in need. The grandmother couldn't control the child. You want a father figure? I went to the court, I took the child. I said, I don't want the money, you know. I said, if the child is entitled to his public
Benefits.
assistance,
Yes.
give him his public assistance. I will put it in an account for him when he's 18 and he's ready to go on his own. He will
When
have
they
something.
wouldn't be giving him anything.
You understand? He will have something to start. They start to ask me all kind of questions. I had to bring pay slip. I said, hey, what? And bank balance. I said, let me tell you something. Keep that money there. Or they're not steal my business. And I left them with it. But the point I'm making is that if you don't have an independent, fair method to give public assistance and social support, you're going to have the kind of experiences people are having in this country. Because people are going to use their own subjective imagination to say who should get and who shouldn't get. But if you place everybody on the tax infrastructure and you use the means test to say, well, look, yes, you need child support because you have 5 children and your income is XYZ and you're below the living wage. And then they will give you that. You need a food support, you need a transportational and thing. And you see now what we have in this country. And people don't understand what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. We had a fluid subsidy where the government is subsidizing the price of fluid. The Minister of Finance have removed it to some extent. But here what was happening in the years before. Companies, the government was subsidizing the operation of companies that were making billions of dollars because they were paying part of the fluid cost every month. We were subsidizing the operation of the US embassy, all those embassies who buying gas here because there was not a two-tier pricing system. So we were paying part of the operation of the US embassy. All them embassies and foreign entities in Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad and Tobagoans were paying part of the transportation cost to fluid, the fluid. Because we don't have no system in place. So what you do, you put the thing at market price and you give family transportation allowance, which come as if those who are honestly in need of it, you give them that. And everybody who can afford pay the full market price of the fluid, you charge them the full market price. And everybody pays that. But what you do, you compensate the families by giving them the tax on it in terms of a transportation allowance. That's
So
how
what
you
about
model
Hyatt? So what about Hyatt and Hilton? Is the same thing going on there?
Well, that's another conversation. But the fact of the matter, the significant point I'm making is that we have not built out the systems and the infrastructure to collect the kind of administrative data and information that the government can really make informed decisions to assist the sectors and segment of the population and the individual within the population who need to get public and social support. We don't have the data. It's a hit and miss story. The best thing they have is the old age pension, and they say as you're 60, you get old age pension, and that's it. But to give individual who really need, you don't have the information. Children going to university with the GATE program. They don't have the data to do the means test because people are not on the tax infrastructure. The
My
government,
goodness.
I hope they pick that up with this revenue authority that we are about to establish, or else we're not going to fix the problems in the country. So it's a whole breakdown.
So how much do you get as gratuity from the Tobago House of Assembly?